I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the man buried beneath this stone. When I was a child, his story drew me into history, and in 1997 he was the inspiration behind my senior thesis. In 2001, he was one of the reasons I got out of journalism. In 2010, he was the heart of my Normandy Institute application. And in July 2012, 4 weeks after I stood at this grave for the last time, Paul Theophane Boyle stood next to me in an ICU at the University of Michigan Hospital, held my hand, and told me I was going to be okay. Born 1 month before the end of the war to end all wars, Paul was a reluctant warrior, drafted, not a volunteer, infantry rather than the mechanic he was trained to be. And when his younger brothers were drafted, he fretted in letters to my great-grandmother that he was afraid they weren't going to make it. Yet, he never walked away from his duty, and in his 31 days in combat, he was promoted twice. The 331st Regimental Combat Team's motto was "See it through," and Paul always did. Always. He never chose the circumstances that made him a hero, but he didn't shrink away from it either. No matter what life threw at him, Paul took it on with a twinkle in his Irish eyes and a smile on his face. When Paul died, a part of my great-grandmother died with him, and I think she and his sister and sisters-in-law worried that the heart and soul of the family died with him too. But here today, 7 decades and a year after his death in the hedges, Paul is still the heart and soul of our family. Throughout the past 20 years of researching his life and death, my aunts, uncles, and cousins never fail to ask, "What's new with Paul?" Our love for him transcends the continents we've lived in, the ages we are, and the times. Paul unites us. And in the early hours of 17th August 2012, when my blood pressure crashed to 70 over 30 during a particularly nasty round of chemo, and I had doctors and nurses flitting in and out of my room, pumping me full of dopamine, it was Paul, standing next to me in his Class A's, who kept me calm and brought me back. Intellectually, I fully understand this was one of the hallucinations I was warned I would have with the drugs. Spiritually, I know something very different. So I say to you again, thank you, Uncle Paul. Thank you for everything you've given me, and someday, hopefully a very long way away, you and I will meet. And I can't wait to give you a hug and sit down and ask you a whole lot of questions.